For this patch management use case, we need the server and a client that will be patched. So please power up both systems from your CloudTrial portal by clicking on the icons. Then you go to the server's desktop and run Matrix42 dbutil from the desktop. Logging in, selecting the database, then clicking on Actions, Install Configure Services, selecting Imperium Patch Management, and clicking on Force Synchronization Now or Force Synchronize Now. This will take some minutes, and the reason why we're doing this is that the demo VM has not been up and running for several days or even weeks, and usually the patches only sync at night, so this is just to get the latest patches. Now we start the Matrix42 Management Console from the desktop. Again, click on Login. And now we can check from the info menu by clicking on backend tasks if the patch synchronization has finished. So this entry here should switch from running to the log. So if you click refresh, it's now it's now moved to the log. So if catalog sync success is displayed here, you're good to go. First of all, a little introduction to what it currently looks like configuration-wise. So in the clients management group here in the middle, we have the client fix and scan packages assigned, which have been dragged and dropped from this panel over here. So the scan, it scans the client to detect any missing patches, and the fix installs the patches. You can have separate distribution options for each package. So for example, you can do recurring scanning every week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for scanning, and you can have a different schedule for fixing if you like. We also have client patches assigned. That's a patch management group from the right pane as well. So that is the client patches, and all the individual hotfixes and patches have been assigned to this group. You can also assign multiple patch groups to the same group of clients or individual clients, and each group also has a subgroup for testing. So like here, it's automatically inherited, so all the clients get these settings, and if you want the Austrian clients to be the test group, you can simply drag and drop the test patch group to this to this Austria group, and then they will receive the patches a few days earlier. Because we do not want to wait for the times configured here, we just scan and fix on demand by reinstalling those packages. So let's start by running the scan on our test machine, which is the PCD2000 in the US group. I right-click on the PCD2000, select reinstall. I select pull because we have a 1-minute interval configured, so that should be fine. You could also use a real-time push here if you want to. And then you select just scan here and proceed by clicking on next and finish. Now we get a little reinstall group, which will automatically disappear when the reinstall, so the scan is finished. We can monitor the progress from the rollout coordination by clicking on this icon. Okay, the scan is finished, as we can tell from the last line here in our rollout coordination. And when we do a refresh here by closing and reopening the group, the reinstall group is vanished. Let's double click on the PCD2000 and we go to patches. And here now we got this updated list of service packs missing, patches installed, and patches missing. And if we take this as a reference computer, we can also use this to deploy patches company-wide, or we can just patch this individual PC. Let's pick some patches by pressing the Control key and left-clicking the patches we want to deploy. Yeah, there's some non-Microsoft patches like Java or Google, and also 1 or 2 Office patches. And so we select these with the Control key, and then we right-click and add these patches to the client patches group to include them, like this. And now they are approving, which means they are downloaded from the server. While we're waiting for this, I go to Configuration Patch Management, and you can see the patches here as well. So when you go to Patch Group, Client Patches, click on Include, you can see those patches we currently we just clicked whether we want to deploy. They're currently approving. We can also exclude patches, and we can set patches to test. So after a specified number of days, they will automatically be moved from test to include. And we can also deploy individual patches by simply going to the available patches here. No patches for this product. Let's pick something for iCloud, for example. So if we want to deploy this iCloud patch, we can simply drag and drop this to either test or include. This is another option, or you can right-click here and do the deployment like this. Let's revisit this tab here. Okay, all the patches are approved. We are good to go. Let's switch to Management Administration. And now we want to initiate the patch installation. So again, we right-click on the PCD2000. We click on Reinstall, click on Next, and now we select first None and then the Fix and Scan packages. So it will first run the scan, and then if there are any patches missing that can be installed, it will use the Fix package to install those patches. Should look like this, and again we can use our rollout coordination for monitoring. We time-lapse the video a little because the patch process takes several minutes. The agent automatically downloaded the required patches and installed them and did a final scan. So the client should now be patched, and it automatically removed the reinstall group. So when we right-click on our group, we can check the log. And we can also get individual information on each patch installed by clicking on PM log in the log. And for checking the installation status, we can also select Show Status. So the PCD2000 is completely patched and installed. We have the patch management packages with the green color indicator here. We also have reports to check the patch process. So when we go to File Reports, it comes with several reports. Let's have a look at, for example, the executive summary, which gives a high-level overview of the patch status. So we see how many patches are missing, how many of those patches are critical, and we also get the top 10 missing patches and top 10 vulnerable computers. Another interesting report is the patches overview, which can also be filtered for various items. And here we can see the patches that have been approved and on how many computers they are missing and how critical they are. So that's just some examples of patch management reports. There are also 2 other options to deploy patches, which I would like to show. So let's go to Configuration Patch Management. If you want to deploy multiple patches missing on several computers, you can go to this search icon here and filter for computer patch status contains missing. And then you get all the patches that are missing in your company. So any computer, any operating system, and you can select them from this view. So for example, if you want to deploy this patch and this patch, you can mark all those patches with the control key, and then simply right click and assign them to a group like this. You can also add additional filters here to just get, for example, Adobe patches or patches after a specified release date, which makes it easier to assign multiple patches at once. And if you want to auto-approve patches, it's even easier way. When you go to View, Auto-Approve, you can configure multiple profiles. Let's have a look at this one, for example. It automatically deploys Windows 10 patches. So you simply select all the products you would like to patch, including the edition for Windows 10. You select the patch type and what you want to do, like automatically downloading the patches or deploying them through a group. So here we selected client patches, we selected test, so they will automatically deploy to the test clients, and after 5 days they will be installed on the production clients as well. So you need to activate this profile if you want to run it, and you can create as many profiles as you like to automate the patch process. So you can select which patches you would like to deploy automatically and which patches you want to deploy manually by selecting them in this view. Finally, we also have some alarming options to tell you when something goes wrong. So when you go to Info Alarm Management, you can select what you would like to do when, for example, the patch catalog synchronizes successfully, or if there are any download errors or deployment errors. You can send out an email to any email address, which can also initiate, for example, a ticket in your service desk.